Although some people are taking Will Smith's side after his insane slap at the Oscars, most of the world is standing behind Chris Rock. Let's get into the top 10 celebrities that defended Chris Rock. In at number 10, Amy Schumer. Amy Schumer was one of the co-hosts of the show, along with Regina Hall and Wanda Sykes. They were all busy when the slap occurred, but they were told about it by their teams afterward. When Amy Schumer came back to the stage after the slap, she made a joke of the situation, saying, quote, "Did I miss anything? There's like a different vibe in here." She shared her thoughts later on Instagram, writing in the caption, quote, "I think we can all agree that the best way to unpack what happened is to stream my series, Life and Beth Hulu, and see me on tour this fall. I love my friend Chris Rock and I believe he handled it like a pro. Stayed up there and gave an Oscar to his friend Questlove, and the whole thing was just so disturbing. So much pain in Will Smith. Anyway, I'm still in shock and stunned and sad. I'm proud of myself and my co-hosts, but yeah, waiting for the sickening feeling to go away from what we all witnessed." In at number 9, Bill Maher. Late night host Bill Maher defended his friend Chris Rock and saluted him for keeping his composure, telling TMZ, quote, "I think Chris Rock did a lot of good. I thought he reacted as well as you could in that situation. It was not a good look for Will. I could make a case that we've all been under a lot of pressure and there's a lot of emotion running through him. It was just out of line and it reinforced the idea that jokes are the enemy. It's sort of like cancel culture encapsulated." Maher added that Rock is a hero for how he handled the situation, adding, quote, "We are looking at someone to pull it together with dignity and get the train back on tracks. He did it and I think you should get a lot of credit for it." In at number 8, Ethan Klein. One YouTuber that made their thoughts incredibly clear was Ethan Klein, who posted a string of tweets denouncing Will's actions. He tweeted, quote, "Will Smith is just a walking L since his wife decided to start weekly humiliating him on her Facebook show. Probably should deal with whatever trauma he has with her instead of punching Chris Rock in the face for an extremely tame joke. He needs to be escorted out of the Oscars. L." Adding in another tweet, quote, "Will Smith won and got a standing ovation. I'm in awe. The show went on like nothing happened. Will Smith punched a comedian for doing his job. He's a celebrity in the front row of the Oscars where it's normal to be roasted. Bad taste or not, defending Will equals brain rot." Many pointed out that Will only did what he did because Chris made fun of his wife's alopecia, but Klein did not back down and said that's no reason to slap someone in the face. In at number 7, Howard Stern. Howard Stern did not hold back on his Monday morning radio show, completely blasting Will Smith for his actions. Stern said, quote, "What you saw on TV was a guy with real issues. That's crazy. That's crazy when you can't contain yourself." His co-host Robin Quivers called the smack a, quote, "blindsided attack," noting that Rock had no idea the hit was coming. Both Stern and Quivers blasted the Academy for not immediately ejecting Smith from the event, with Stern adding, quote, "You don't provide security? You don't have someone come up there? Chris Rock was just trying to make people laugh at the ceremony, which was so long and boring." Comic Nikki Glasser called into the show to agree, with her adding that she is afraid of what might happen to other comedians when they make a risky joke at a comedy club. All three blasted the inaction from other celebrities in the room and the Academy for doing nothing. And at number 6, Kathy Griffin. Kathy Griffin tweeted almost immediately after the slap to condemn Will Smith's actions. She also acknowledged how this action could affect comedy as a whole and make being a comedian more dangerous than it already is. She tweeted, quote, "Let me tell you something, it's a very bad practice to walk up on stage and physically assault a comedian. Now we all have to worry about who wants to be the next Will Smith in comedy clubs and theaters." Halfway at number 5, Judd Apatow. After the shocking altercation, some celebrities took to Twitter to share how much they disagreed with Will Smith's actions. Director Judd Apatow was probably the most vocal, who said in a series of tweets, quote, "Seems like Will Smith's plan to get comedians in the world to not make jokes about him is not going to pan out. The Williams family must be furious, pure narcissism. Also, G.I. Jane was gorgeous. What exactly is insulting about being compared to a ripped, stunning Demi?" He then replied to a tweet that mentioned that Will did what he did because Rock was insulting her alopecia. Apatow then doubled down, writing, quote, "He could have killed him. That's pure out of control rage and violence. They've heard a million jokes about them in the last 3 decades. They're not freshmen in the world of Hollywood and comedy. He lost his mind." Apatow has since deleted these tweets, but we can assume that he meant every word. And at number 4, Zoe Kravitz. After the award show, Zoe Kravitz took to Instagram to slam Will Smith. She posted 2 photos back to back, one showing her Grammys look and another showing her look for the Vanity Fair after party. The captions on the photos read, quote, "Here's a picture of my dress at the show where we are apparently assaulting people on stage now." The other said, quote, "Here's a picture of my dress at the party after the award show where we are apparently screaming profanities and assaulting people on stage now." Shockingly, Zoe actually got a lot of backlash for condemning Will Smith. Many people said she should have just stayed out of it and kept quiet. Many also pointed out that she had been friends with the Smith family in the past, and she was even uncomfortably close with Jaden Smith while he was still a teen. In at number 3, Jim Carrey. Comedian Jim Carrey is another person who has been incredibly vocal about his disgust for Smith's actions. He also slammed the Oscars and Hollywood in general for condoning such a terrible action. During an interview with CBS's Gayle King, Carrey said, quote, "I was sickened. I was sickened by the standing ovation. Hollywood is just spineless and mass, and it really felt like it was a clear indication that we aren't the cool club anymore." Carrey told King that Smith should have been escorted out and arrested. Carrey also said that if he were Chris Rock, he would have sued Will Smith. Adding, quote, "I'd have announced this morning that I was suing Will for $200 million because that video is going to be there forever. It's going to be ubiquitous." Carrey also slammed how this could affect comedians in the future, continuing, quote, "That insult is going to last a very long time. If you want to yell from the audience and show disapproval or something like that on Twitter, that's fine. You do not have the right to walk up on stage and smack someone in the face because they said words." In at number 2, Wanda Sykes. Following her gig co-hosting the Oscars, Wanda Sykes went on The Ellen Show to share her feelings on the award show. Sykes was very open about her disapproval of Will Smith and the Academy for not doing more to protect the presenters. Sykes said, quote, "It was sickening. I felt physically ill and I'm still a little traumatized by it." Sykes told Ellen during the interview that Smith should have been removed from the building immediately after he slapped Rock. Adding, quote, "For them to let him stay in that room and enjoy the rest of the show and accept his award, I was like, how gross is this? This is just the wrong message. You assault somebody, you get escorted out of the building, and that's it." After lots of pushback, the Academy revealed that after the slap, they did ask Will Smith to leave, but he refused. Wanda added that she was hoping that when he won, she would be able to go out and say that he had left the building. But obviously that did not happen, and he got a standing ovation when he won for King Richard. And finally, at number 1, the Oscars. After the slap, the Academy of Motion Pictures, Arts and Sciences tweeted that they do not condone the violence that took place at the Oscars. But since they let Will Smith stay in the audience and still gave him the award, that didn't seem to be true to those watching. The Oscars then submitted another statement on Wednesday, days after the show, to reveal that they actually asked him to leave after the altercation, but he refused. The statement said, quote, "Things unfolded in a way we could not have anticipated. While we would like to clarify that Mr. Smith was asked to leave the ceremony and refused, we also recognize we could have handled the situation differently." After this, we got to hear Chris Rock speak for the first time since the incident during one of his comedy shows in Boston. He asked the crowd, quote, "How was your weekend?" clearly acknowledging the elephant in the room. He then added, quote, "I'm still kind of processing what happened." However, he didn't comment on it further and promised that he would discuss it in greater depth later. Alright guys, that's all for the list. Let me know your thoughts below, but before I go, I'm going to shout out some comments from celebrities who tried to warn us about Will Smith. Carol Bullard said, "If Will would have been upset from the get-go, I may have understood the slap a little bit. Will was laughing hard at the joke, so he found it funny too until he looked at Jada. Therefore, I have absolutely no understanding of the slap. I hope there will be repercussions for Will." I completely agree. Like, he switched up, he was like kind of laughing about it, and then he looked over his wife who was mad, and then he's like, boom. Like, the fact that it took him probably like less than 3 seconds to make that decision, insane. Then Marianne said, "From the response of his son, that's how we do it. I don't believe he or his family regrets it. Absolutely not." And we actually saw footage, I think just today, that Jada Pinkett Smith, after the slap when he was coming back, she was like laughing and looked happy and I guess proud of it. Then Leanne said, "I'm so tired of hearing he was protecting his family. From what? No one was attacking them and no one was being hurt in any way, and not one person's life was in danger, period." Could not agree more. Protecting his family, like, it's the media. They say stuff, they make jokes. It was a pretty tame joke that literally every single person would have forgotten about. But now he's made it this humongous thing that no one's ever gonna forget about. And now everyone's bringing up the cheating, their open marriage, all this other stuff that just like didn't need to be resurfaced. Alright guys, that is all for the video today. I've been your host, Mackenzie Smith, and we'll catch you in the next one.